politics is war without bloodshed. War is politics with bloodshed. Um, the reason that things are a little more transparent now is because the president in the White House, he's not a seasoned politician. He's a business guy, an elitist. And so he doesn't have the training to pull this off in a smooth way. Um, his moves and his motives are very transparent. He's very transparent. Um, and that is, he's doing everything that ex-presidents have done, but it's just in a more um, straightforward way. But it's nothing new. He's nothing new. He is just, the Trump administration is just more egregious with it. And they just move more sloppy with it. And he's less able to cover it with rhetoric and posturing. Either he doesn't have the capability or he doesn't even care. Probably a little bit of both. But this is good because it gives us a little bit of a glimpse into what events really are versus what we're being told. Okay? But also, I want to make this clear. The Trump administration is not the first racist administration to enact racist policies. The US has been racist since its inception. Its establishment was based on racism. History tells us that. These are facts. They aren't the first administration to do mass deportations or to condone participation in a global child sex trafficking ring. You got to remember, Epstein was operating since the early 2000s that we even know about. Early 2000s. That's 26 years ago. And both parties knew about it, Democrats and Republicans, because both parties were involved, which is why neither side wants the full unredacted Epstein files to come out. The Trump administration is not the first administration to overthrow another country's leadership illegally. We have been killing and robbing and kidnapping presidents all over the world since our inception. Nothing new. We have literally terrorized Central and South America for decades. Terrorized. There are probably more countries in Central and South America that we have overthrown than we have not overthrown. Um, we have carved up Africa with our European counterparts for their resources. Um, and the continent still hasn't recovered. The continent still hasn't recovered from that. When Europeans first came in, not first came in, but when they went during the Berlin conference, when all the European powers got together and were deciding how they were going to carve up Africa for its own, for their natural resources and for their own gain, they put these arbitrary borders in place that are still in place today. But they created these arbitrary borders. And so what you ended up having was two rival cultures or communities that had previously they may not have liked each other. They may have gone to, battle a couple times in history or in the past. But it wasn't full out genocide. It was regional conflict. But what happened when they redid these borders for these countries is that now all of a sudden, instead of this country that you have a rivalry with being across a border that both of you respect, now you're put into the same country together. Now you're competing for resources together. So I already don't like you. We already have a past of going to battle and conflict, and now I gotta fight with you for resources. And then you have a lot of the genocides that have taken place in Africa and that are currently taking place in Africa, facilitated by the Europeans. And we participate in that. United States participates in that. We'll go all the way to Asia. We saw that with Vietnam, Japan, Korea, Hong Kong. We'll go all the way to Asia. Obviously, we got beef with Russia. We'll go the back way to Russia through Alaska. But the point is that there is not a single place on this planet that the United States has not tried to colonize. And a lot of times have been successful in colonizing. And if they haven't colonized you, they put economic and political pressure on you. So this is who the United States is. That's the point I'm trying to get across. And what we're seeing now is that just play out in a more transparent format, but this is who we've always been. This is who we've always been. Um, Politics is war without bloodshed. War is politics with bloodshed. And best believe there are no rules in war, which is why, while I don't necessarily agree with all the conflicts happening around the world, I wish we could live in a more peaceful coexistence. I do understand it. I do understand it. The thing that really bothers me most about this is not the conflict itself, but the way the conflict is presented. I don't like the deception that comes around the conflicts. We talk about spreading freedom, spreading democracy, getting rid of brutal dictators for the sake of the people in the country. We're so concerned about people in other countries that we have to get rid of their oppressive leaders. Um, we got to get rid of no country. We don't want countries developing WMDs and nuclear weapons. Mind you, the US is the only country in the history of the world who has dropped a nuclear weapon on another country. And they did it twice. They did it twice. And in that part of Japan, they are still having to this day, they are still having trouble in that part of the world, in that region, with crops and the people that live there because of the radiation that's left over. They dropped those bombs 70 years ago. And they're still having issues. The US did that. Nobody else did that. So all these different reasons that the US gives for going to war are lies. Straight like that. This is a game of global politics. Politics is war without bloodshed. War is politics with bloodshed. This is what we see playing out on the international stage. So my thing is, if you want to go to war, just be straight up about it. Be straight up about it. That's why I don't like how Israel's handling Gaza. I don't like how the U.S. handled Venezuela, how the U.S. handled Iran. I don't like how the U.S. has handled any conflict because it's all deception. The way Israel's at war with Gaza. Israel wants to wipe Gaza off the map. Straight like that. So say that. Say that's what you want to do, and then go do it. And then if somebody wants to stop you bad enough, somebody will step up and stop you. Those are the rules. I'm gonna do this thing. I'm gonna go invade this country. I'm gonna overthrow this government. And if you don't like it, you got to do something about it. Economically, using physical violence and force, whatever tools you have at your disposal, you have to do something about it. And if you're not going to do something about it, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Stay out the way and shut up. Straight up. I don't want to hear what you have to say. So just be straight up about it. US, you want the oil? You want the resources? Say what it is. And if somebody wants to step up and stop you, let them stop you. But to lie to people's faces for the sake of war is disrespectful. War in itself is disrespectful because you going on another person's sovereign land and taking their stuff. But I understand we're a little bit of we're still a young species, and so we're still fighting with each other over natural resources. Mind you, this is a planet where if we work together, the natural resources are virtually infinite. The natural resources are virtually infinite. We will never run out of anything because the earth regenerates everything. But we're still adolescent as a species, so we're still fighting each other. When Genghis Khan was going around the globe wrecking shit, he wasn't talking about bringing democracy or liberating the people. He said, I'm coming for the land. I'm coming for everything. Try and stop me. You know what one of the famous Genghis Khan quotes is? He said, I'm the punishment of God. If you had not done great sins, I would not have come upon you. I'm the vengeance of God. This is how he's thinking, and this is how he's moving, and he's being straight up with it. When Alexander the Great was conquering the world, he wasn't like, oh, making up all these excuses. He's like, no, I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for the land. I'm coming for the resources. Do something about it if you can. And that's how, and that's what I respect. I don't respect lying to people's faces, making up reasons to go to war, and being deceptive. Just stand on your business. And if people want to try to stop you, let them try to stop you. But when you start lying, now you're insulting our intelligence. And and the thing about lying, we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that. Our current political climate, Democrats and Republicans, two sides of the same coin, two factions of the same party, the business party. There's only one party in the United States, and it is the business party. And it has two factions, the Democrats and the Republicans. But both parties are controlled by big corporations and big banks, period. They are constantly lying. They are constantly exploiting people, all for profit. And they have done so since the inception of the United States. Now, I want to get back to the lying piece now. Now, think about this. If you had someone in your life, if you knew someone, if you had a close friend who lied to you, how hard would it be for you to trust what that person says? If let's say they lie to you about something one time, but it's not like a little lie, or maybe it is a little lie, whatever. If somebody lies to you one time, it can be hard for you to trust anything they say. You might have to verify everything they say from there on out. Because if they'll lie to you once, they'll lie to you multiple times. And if they'll lie, they'll do even worse. And eventually, if they continue to lie, if they lie two times, if they lie three times, and you catch them every single time, eventually you are not going to believe a word that comes out of their mouth until it is verified by probably two, three other sources. That's the government. But yet, somehow, we still believe what the government says to a large degree. The majority of what they say is a lie. The majority of what they've done throughout history is lie. Lie, cheat, steal, exploit, oppress. This is their character. But yet we still give them the grace to, as this trusted authority, beyond, beyond our better judgment. We know we're not supposed to be trusting these people. They done lied too many times. How many times does somebody have to lie to you before you put them in their proper place? The government cannot be trusted. Media cannot be trusted. ABC 1, 2, 3. Okay. All that being said, if we want to do something about this, very important date coming up, midterm elections. Midterm elections are next November. At these midterm elections, all 435 seats in the House of Representatives will be up for re-election. About a third of the seats in the Senate will be up for re-election. And that is the majority of Congress, folks. And Congress is key. Congress is key. And it will be the same situation in 2028, but it will be in addition to the presidential election. Control of Congress is important because that's where the checks and balances come from. The reason Trump is running wild right now is because there are no checks and balances. The Republicans and his supporters have a majority in the House of Representatives, they have a majority in the Senate. So when he does something, they go along with it because they're scared of repercussions, scared of losing their jobs, scared of being ostracized from the MAGA party. So Congress is important. So this election actually is really, really, really important. So if we want to change, if we want some change and we want to slow down this madness that is happening, we need to take this midterm election seriously. But I'm gonna be really honest with y'all. If we want real change, we should probably vote out about 95% of Congress and replace them with people who have an affiliation to neither political party, because both parties are compromised. Both parties are compromised. They act like they're fighting for the people and advocating for the people in their communities to our faces. Behind closed doors, they're negotiating business deals to rip the same people that they serve, to rip them off, to exploit them to the fullest for their own profit, for their own gain. Playing golf with each other, laughing it up on at the country club, talking about how they're doing people. These are our leaders. 95% of them need to go. And the people that get into the government should have no political affiliation, because then you're not controlled by the money. And you can actually make decisions. Imagine having a government that actually made decisions based on the common good. That is not what we have. We have a government that makes decisions based on what's best for the corporations and the banks. When these people are running for office, these people have so much money, they contribute to both parties. They donate to both parties. And then when these people get in office, they get a visit probably a week later after they get in office. Here's the legislation we would like you to introduce. Already written up. Lobbying for corporate interests. And of course they do it because all our politicians are bought and paid for. So replacing Republicans with Democrats or vice versa is like trading a nickel for 5 pennies. It's the same thing. We need people who are not affiliated in the government to make better decisions for the people. We can find 500, 600, 1,000 people in this country who can govern with integrity and honor and govern towards the common good. We can find that. There's more than enough out there. But we got to get out of this. We got to get out of this. Eventually, we got to get out of this two-party system paradigm that we've been in since day one, because it's just a trap. It's the illusion of choice. I make you think that you have a choice between these two people, but in reality, I chose both of them. So either way, I win. And that's the state that we're in right now. All right, people. Power to the people, all power to the people. Until next time, peace.